Hey, it's John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, and this is the video for 5 tips and/or guidelines for better note-taking for homebrewing. Because we all know that if you don't take notes in your brew sessions or as you do the hobby that is known as brewing home brew, brewing beer at home, that you're never really going to get better. Because if you just kind of like wing it, which is fun, if you really want to get better at it, you got to take some good notes and you got to understand what the heck you just happened so you can apply it later on. As Mike has told me, it's never about the first brew. That first brew is probably not going to be perfect. The odds of that first brew going to be perfect are pretty much slim, and I tell them never tell me the odds. But we still brew and we still take notes and we still think we can improve from that first brew. So the first guideline and tip is
know why you want to take notes.
There you go.
Have a goal in mind. Are you just interested in having a historical record for all the time that you've brewed of what batch you brewed? So you can someday say, I've brewed 40 pale ales, 20 blondes, right? Maybe just a logbook, a notebook works for you for that. Or maybe your goal is to be more technical. Maybe you want to always know what your mash pH was or what your original gravity was, what your attenuation was, stuff like that. So if you're going to take better notes, the first thing is you've got to have a goal. Understand
why you're taking notes. And then number 2 is decide what kind of data you're going to capture on each brew session. So like Mike said, is it a pH thing? Or is it like, I just got to dial in that mash temperature? Or even understand, like, if my mash temp is X and I brew the same recipe later on and it's Y, can I tell a difference? And is it better? Is it worse? Should I never do that again? So understand like what kind of data you want to pull into your system so then you can use it for future brews and just improve your overall brewing experience.
Awesome. Number 3 is be consistent and make it easy. So if you have a really laborious note-taking process, the likelihood of you capturing said notes goes down incredibly. And if you're not consistent, if you only take good notes every 3rd, 4th, 6th brew, it makes it really hard to achieve number 1, which was whatever goal it was you set for yourself with note-taking. So always keep in mind, be consistent and make it easy. That might be for some people all digital, all using computers, using brewing software, whatever it is. Some people might be all handwritten. I prefer a little bit of a hybrid of both. I use a little bit of both.
So. That's right. So number 4 is that fact, like, you know, make sure that you have a backup. So if you are, you know, all handwritten, maybe you want to capture some things digitally. If you're all digital, you probably want to write things down. Make sure that you have some kind of backup. Heck, the cloud could save us all. But make sure that like your notes don't go away because, heck, God forbid, a fire, or your computer dies. Have it somewhere where you can be able to access it no matter what the circumstances are. So remember that, have a backup.
And the last tip, number 5, is to review your process regularly against your notes, right? So maybe every 5th brew, think about the notes you're taking, look at the notes you've had in the past. Do they still match up with your process? Sometimes your process drifts, whatever. But you want to just review your process with your notes periodically so that you can see if they match up, because it's all about achieving goal number 1, which was to have a goal, and you want to just cross-check that what you're doing and what you're writing down jives.
Yes. Capturing all that data and doing nothing with it seems to be like a waste of time.
Right.
And now, not saying that I am not suspect, because I've taken a lot of notes and thought to myself, like, after the fact, like, gee, I should have reviewed this because I said clearly on this brew like 3 years ago, like, don't do this. And then I did it anyway. So make sure you add that to your process. It's not just about like collecting information, but putting that information into action. So remember that. Hopefully you've enjoyed our Fast 5 guidelines/tips on taking notes in your homebrew process to improve said homebrew process. Hopefully you like this video. If you have, give us a thumbs up on the old YouTube video screen. Subscribe to our channel because we do this kind of thing every single week. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, brew on.
Cheers.